it's getting difficult to distinguish parody from reality, isn't it? And I think that's definitely a theme of this channel, of these videos that I make. And let's just start with this prime example of a video that many of you have now seen, which is called "I Do Not Have a Receding Hairline. I Do Not Need a Hair Transplant." And of course, the whole intent of that video was to bait in people who had never seen my videos before and to truly believe that this guy that they're watching is in denial that he's got a receding hairline. I did a fake accent, I dressed weird, it was a complete character. However, there were people who watched that video and left comments as if they truly believed that that was a real video. And I can tell the difference between people who are in on the joke, you know? No, but there's people who dislike those videos and leave angry comments and basically, how could you be so obsessed with hair loss? See, those are the people who don't understand that so much of my content is a parody. They don't get it. That's fun for the rest of us who do get it. But I want to share this video from our great friend Maxwell Smart. This was his comment on the video. Quote, "Self-deception is a marvelous characteristic and has curing tendencies." End quote. I think that is, and you know, and I responded to him and I said, that is exactly the true takeaway of that video. That's what you were supposed to leave thinking that. Well, A, it's a complete joke, but B, there are people who are so oblivious to the truth that the truth doesn't actually hurt them at all. As they say, ignorance is bliss. And the character that I played in the shower, as I, by the way, put oil in my hair to only accentuate how my hair is thinning and receding, but the whole point was that character was in denial, and really he didn't seem to care, ultimately. He just didn't believe that he actually had a receding hairline. So the whole point is, to some degree, if someone's in that much of a denial that they're losing their hair, then it's almost the same as them not actually losing their hair, which goes back to one of my hair loss truths that I always say: anything you believe about hair loss is true in your own mind. So to a certain degree, ignorance could be bliss when it comes to hair loss. Let's look at another extreme on that. What about the many people watching my videos in their teens, early 20s? They've got Norwood 1 going on, maybe the very beginning of Norwood 1.5 starting, and they're 20. And they're freaking out, always plugging their own commercials for finasteride and Propecia and hair transplants. See, those people are overly aware of the first signs of their hair loss. And it's really bumming them out, like this is consuming their life. On the other hand, there's people who very well could be in denial about their own hair loss and oblivious that there are other people who obsess over it so much. And that was the point of the video. I wanted to play the character of someone, and then the rest of us who are having fun, let's look at the comments and see who thinks that that was a real video and think that that was a real guy who actually believed all that. I guess that character could even be somewhat similar to the concept of Homer Simpson in The Simpsons, who is perpetually 35. He's been 35 years old since December 1989, when the official show became its own show. I know it was originally was part of a little feature in the Tracy Ullman show back in the late 80s, but December 1989, that's when The Simpsons became The Simpsons as we know it. And Homer Simpson's been aged 35 since then. And noticeably, he has zero hair on top, right? And he's overweight and pretty just ignorant and for the most part, right? He's a lovable idiot. But something about Homer Simpson is he's not bothered by his hair loss. He's not bothered by being overweight. He's overly confident for someone who would look that way in real life. And that's sort of the fun. It goes back to ignorance is bliss. While so many people truly do obsess over hair loss, and that's why when they see me make all these videos to feed their own obsession, they don't see that this is a parody. They see it as this guy is obsessed. So it's fun to make videos to nurture that idea, like Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Okay, you want a guy who's obsessed with hair loss? Yeah, I'll be that guy. Let's do this thing. Ultimately though, I think to some degree ignorance is bliss. If nothing else, it would be much better to be ignorant and live in bliss when it comes to hair loss than to be one of those guys who truly is obsessed with hair loss. So yes, Maxwell Smart, he summarized my video perfectly. And I that's for those of you who are in on the joke. You know, they give me the likes instead of the dislikes when I make silly videos. You know, we could kind of make it a game as far as who can accurately in the comments leave a comment that summarizes what I'm actually saying in the form of basically a parody slash parable in essence is what I'm doing. For those of you who get it's a joke, the fun and extra challenge is, what is Nick actually saying in this parody video? So there you go. Max, you win the prize on that. I couldn't have said it better myself, but again, self-deception is a marvelous characteristic and has curing tendencies. But you know who's not going to be cured? Is the people who are truly obsessed with this channel and not getting, I mean, let's face it, here in the fall of 2018, we're accepting that a major fundamental ongoing theme in my videos is you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to be able to laugh about hair loss. You can't take yourself so seriously when it comes to hair loss because other people are not taking your hair loss seriously, and then you make such a big deal about it. So that's why that's another reason I like to make these silly videos, is just to remind ourselves this is not worth losing sleep over. To some degree, you have to become comfortable enough that you can laugh about it. So that's what we're doing. It's not my role to make fun of people who are going bald. Part of my role is to use laughter and parody as a way to further find that remedy. Because no matter what you do to try to buy happiness with a hair transplant or Propecia or whatever it is, ultimately you're still buying happiness. Or you can do what Nick Shell does and produce that confidence from within instead of trying to buy it. And yes, laughter helps. And yes, being on the inside joke of the parody definitely helps.